We're gonna go over the turkey ruck for this upcoming Thanksgiving. I wanna start out by loading a bag. I'm gonna be running through the entire course today, and I'll have Christy as my camera lady to guide us along the way. So that way, when we go into day of race, if you have a chance to watch this video beforehand, you'll be a little bit more prepared and won't miss a turn. Now, as we look at our bags, what we want to focus on is the prescribed weight is going to be a 20 bag for the ladies and a 30 bag for the guys. Now, there's lots of different ways we can load this bag up, and just keep in mind, I want to really reiterate this. This is a fun event. This isn't intended to be a competition. So don't worry if it's a pound off, up or down, but what we want to focus on is finding something that's a little bit more challenging to increase the intensity for our overall run. Now, if you don't have a bag that is going to be able to sustain any kind of real load, then just come show up for the turkey ruck or turkey trot. This is still a totally officially unofficial event. So it's going to be fun for friends, family, neighbors, whoever else. Bring your dogs, bring your kids. We'll have 2 separate courses. We got our first race, which is going to be the prescribed, include some single track. We'll also see some new elements using our bags. Now, if you don't want to hit some of those more technical stuff, we'll still have a stroller route with some of these movement patterns along the way, so that way we can still participate. Now, what we're gonna do here is I've got a Go Ruck bag, and I'll be focusing on loading this guy up with 30 pounds. Now, I actually do have some of the equipment that I will need. I'm gonna start off by throwing in my 20-pound weight vest. That's gonna make this sack 20 pounds. And I've got a 5-pound plate, and then I'm gonna throw in another one kind of in between, just to keep them from sliding around. Now, this is my 30-pound pack that I'll be running in today. Now, like I said, you don't necessarily have to have a Go Ruck bag, but we still need to have some kind of a bag that's gonna support some weight. Now, for example, I'm gonna demonstrate, this is a 30-pound bag. Now, what inside of it makes 30 pounds? I do have a little bit more equipment that I can utilize. So we got a 30-pound dumbbell that I'm throwing inside. Now, this isn't something that I would technically suggest running this whole course in. You want to kind of maybe disperse the weight out. So if I'm throwing this dumbbell in there, what I would personally do is strip it down so that way they lay flat, or even stuff a towel or 2 towels at the bottom of it, just to kind of spread out that weight distribution, so it's not putting so much pressure in one particular spot, which then could potentially act or turn into a rupture. So if we don't have weights, there's lots of other ways that we can get this bag up to weight. First option, walk around the house, find something that's got a little bit of weight to it. For example, a gallon of water weighs just over 8 pounds. So if you throw a couple gallons of water in here, you can get yourself up to 20, maybe 25 pounds pretty easily. Another option is see if you can find some tools. This is roughly about, I'd say 10 pounds. So I throw that in there. Now that's one way I can get a little bit more weight in my bag, and it's also distributing the weight evenly throughout the whole bag. Something else we can throw in, like I said, water. You can hit the grocery store, use some of your groceries. Throw that in there. Now this is essentially a 20-pound bag. So whether you have a Go Ruck bag or not, you still have an opportunity to find something that's going to be challenging or something that's going to challenge your overall course and day in this turkey ruck. Now, we're gonna head over to the park. Stick by, stay tuned. Hey guys, we are at the park. We are gonna go through our run through for the turkey trot / ruck. We are at Hidden Lakes Park, at where Morello runs into, or Chelpensingo runs into Morello. Right now there's a soccer thing going on, but this is where we're gonna be meeting at and doing our brief warm up at 8:30. So just keep in mind, if we're starting the warm up at 8:30 and beginning the run not long after. And if you are running late, just come in, get a quick little warm up, and then try to catch up. We will be running our usual route to start, and then we're gonna see some changes throughout the run. Just a couple heads up. The bathroom that is typically here, is actually gone. They just ripped it down. It was here a couple days ago. It's no longer here, but there are a couple porta potties. Hopefully they're standing on day of, otherwise plan accordingly. But we're gonna go ahead and begin with the first run, which essentially is gonna start out here on the turf. We're gonna go down the sidewalk and then head on up. Say hi, Christy. All right, here we go. Actual obstacle is this little hurdle, but then we're gonna go ahead and begin our first climb. So this first hill, with the pack or no pack, is still an ass kicker. Christy was just saying.
A lot bigger than I remember.
So,
A lot steeper.
pace accordingly. Once we get to the top of the hill, you'll see there's a big open space. Enjoy the Mount Diablo view. We're gonna go 20 air squats. Hip crease below parallel. Keep that chest up. If you want to use your pack, hand around the bag, just to kind of help shake your arms out, whatever you gotta do. We're going for 20 reps. I don't know how many I did, but we're doing this whole thing. Let's go. As we head down, it's gonna drop us down a single track that's gonna take us along the ridge. So don't go down either side. Continue that route across. Let's go. Now, just for a reminder, guys, this is gonna be a morning session, so it's not gonna be the driest surface out. So it's a good idea to make sure you're wearing some kind of shoes with some decent tread. Just nothing flat. Converse, not today, not a good shoe for today. All right, guys, so we are approaching this little flattened out level space before we drop down into the next kind of steeper descent. This is gonna be a newer movement. What we're gonna be focusing on, we had a lot of hip crease below parallel over there. So what I'm gonna do now is focus on a little more hip hinge. This is gonna be really good when you have a pack on your back because it's gonna help add an extra load. Kind of think of it as a sumo stance good morning. But if you don't have weight, we're just gonna focus on reaching for the floor. We're gonna go 20 reps here, and the main thing we really wanna maintain is let those hips do most of the work. Save your legs for what we have to come. Squeeze your butt at the top, stand up. The whole time I'm trying to keep my feet somewhat squared forward so I'm not turned out too much. If we are turned out and can't keep that forward, just keep pushing the knees out. But really focus on sending your hips back to start. 20 reps there, and then we're gonna hit our descent. All right, guys, as we're coming down this fire road, our stroller route, right up here is our first left-hand turn for the RX single track. So look for that post, look for that sign or signal that's gonna go down the single track. If we are doing the scaled version or the modified version, stroller route, what we'll do is we're gonna come down here. This will also be marked as a stroller option. You're gonna go up this, and it's gonna take you essentially back to the point where we all came down, and they'll sync up to that route. So they're doing an additional lap to add some more distance. And then the stroller route will continue on where the single track will sync up down the trail. Let's go. All right, guys, as we head down this first single track, what we're gonna focus on is just making sure that our feet are in good position. Don't roll your ankle. Once again, it's gonna be a little slick. So we're gonna continue on this route. Let's do it. Now, if you happen to miss that initial turn on the single track, don't worry, there's additional single tracks that come down. This is the same fire road that the stroller route's gonna be working on. So if you miss that first one, come on back down, join back up to the single track. Now, as we move into this new squat, we are going to have to remove our pack. Don't mind my noise from my mic. Here, we're gonna go into a front rack bear hug style squat. So we're hitting 15 squats, holding onto that bag, keep it in front of the body. If you wanna adjust and hold it like so, that's fine, as long as you're keeping your bag in the frontal plane of these reps. So 15 squats here, then bag goes back on. All right, guys, so we are approaching our next turning point. This is the end of our single track, and it's gonna kind of meet up to a main junction spot in this whole park. We've got a paved road, which we will see again. But instead of getting to this point, hanging left over the bridge to go to the other side of the lake, we're gonna hang a right up this paved area, as well as the strollers. The strollers are gonna eventually come down their most technical side of their particular route. And this is gonna be a little bit on the steepy-ish side if you've got a couple strollers, a couple kids in a stroller. but totally manageable. Turn around, take it backwards, or just have fun coming down it. But we're gonna come down here to this road and head that way. Let's go. So this is what, like our 7th time doing this event. So during this point, Christy's microphone died on her, killed her cameo. Anyways, I asked her what was her experience like in the last couple years of turkey trot, since we do have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And she has taken them all through every turkey trot with the stroller or the carry pack.
Pretty easy. It's a little bumpy, but you just have to watch your feet. The kids usually tend to like the bump. Even Anderson, when he was pretty newborn, we took him out here. He did fine. Yeah, so I would encourage you guys to come push your strollers if you got littles. Bring the kids. They can walk. They enjoy running around. There's a bunch of dogs. Cameron was with Craig last year, saying hi to everybody. So yeah, come out. Bring your kids. It is definitely family friendly, stroller friendly. It's off-roading, but there's plenty of flat space.
Okay, on that note, we are moving into our next spot, which is not flat space. Boom. Now as we move into this part, this is where we're gonna actually remove our bag one more time and then take a hike. All right guys, so once you do drop your pack, there's anywhere around here, there's a few other turns, so just drop it on a flat spot, and then we're gonna take it sprint up. Now it's not just a run up, but we're gonna run up and hit 20 push-ups at the top. Let's do it. Okay, so sprint up, 20 push-ups, get down, don't sprint, get down. Instead of putting your bag on, what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk over to our pack and start our next obstacle, suitcase carry. Let's roll. All right guys, so as we're going through this, after we made that right-hand turn, after coming down that hill climb, we're going to basically carry our pack at the side, switching arms as often as you want. Now, the big thing we want to really focus on here is just keep your posture up nice and tall. Don't let that weight pull you forward out of position. If you gotta rest, just set it down and rest. But we're basically gonna carry this for a good portion of this time. You may run, walk, switch it up, maybe go backwards a little bit. There's a little bit of a hill climb right here, very gradual. In the past, this has been our lunging portion. So, all right guys, so as we continue on this this suitcase carry, once we reach this point when we start to drop down, which will be clearly marked, is a chance we get to put our bag on and let your hands have a short break. Let's go. All right guys, so as we get across this bridge, we are gonna go ahead and start our next obstacle where we will revisit a position with our ruck pack in a front rack or front hold bear hug carry. Now just keep in mind, I'm liking to hold on to my hand and brace my arms by extending into it. And that pressure that we get in our abdominal, totally normal. Just suck it up and keep your abs tight. We're gonna continue on this route and we will be coming across our next split where our stroller and our single trackers are gonna go. All right guys, so as we get up to this next turn, you'll notice there's some buildings off in the distance. Stroller route will go to behind the school and the single track will stay lakeside. Ruck pack, RX, single track option. The strollers are gonna continue that way. Now, be careful, don't go too far to the right because then you'll take it out to the street headed towards Center Boulevard. We're gonna stay behind the school. So there's gonna be another split up ahead. Just stay to the left on that second split. But we're gonna go down the lakeside. At this junction, you can go left or go right to stay and meet up with the stroller route, or we can go left to our next movement pattern. Now, as we begin to approach this next spot, we're gonna go for 10 more squats. We're gonna keep the bag in front for our 10 squats And I'm gonna throw another option out there. Christy gave me the idea of scaling it up, or offering another scaled up option for those RX Plusers out there that wanna push a little harder. And I'm gonna challenge you to maybe do this movement pattern throughout the whole event. So 20 in the very beginning at the top of the hill, 15 in the next spot, 10 here. But this is gonna be of a single arm overhead squat. Get yourself stacked up in a position and take yourself through that range of motion. It's gonna be split. Half on this side, half on this side. Now, once you finish your squats here, we're going to...
I wish I could say this was the last time the microphone died, but it's not. Anyways, I'm talking about at the right-hand side, you can join the stroller route on the fire road, or you can continue on the single track for another 150, 200 meters on the single track. Once you reach the end, you either go down into the lake or hang a right to the top of the
top up here. You're going to find yourself at this split. Paved road goes to one bridge that goes into the neighborhood. We're not going to the neighborhood. We're going to stay left. We're going back to the other side of the lake. But the RX version is only going to cross one bridge. The stroller route is going to cross two. All right, guys, so as we cross this bridge, this is where we're going to separate. Now, just for a quick little reference point, so the strollers know how to get back to the park. What we're going to be doing is the strollers are going to continue on the bridge, cross the bridge, and I'll point out a little bit further ahead. On that point, we're going to reach Morello Boulevard, hang a left, and that takes you back to the park. So just stay on the sidewalk, and then there's the park. That's the end of the stroller route. For the RX single track version, we're going to cross that first bridge, and we're gonna go down this way. And eventually it's gonna take us up underneath the bridge. We're gonna run into our next spot. So stroller route again is gonna come over the top of this bridge, link up to the sidewalk, stay left on that sidewalk. Go that way. Hope you enjoyed your run. For everybody else that's looking to go further into their single track and add one more element to the workout, is we're gonna go ahead and come down this way, staying to the left. It's gonna take us down over a little dried out creek, and then we're gonna go up. Let's do it. All right, guys, so if you pan over here real fast, you can see where the bridge was. We're kind of dead.
And now is when the mic dies for the last time. So as you go down that single track to the left, you're gonna cross a dry creek. When you come up and around to the left, you will see a split where I'm standing currently. Hang a right and go up. When in doubt, go up, and just prepare yourself, pace it.
All right, guys, so we're slightly recovered after that last little climb. You'll have a short period of time to walk it out, but once we get to this tree or the marking, wherever you see it, we're gonna begin our lunge. Knees brushing the ground, keep that front knee stacked over the ankle, drive off through all 5 toes in that back foot, full extension top. We're gonna continue through this sequence all the way until we reach that broken down tree right over there. Once we reach this tree, we're going to go that way. So just think, go back behind the tree. We're not quite going down towards the field, and you won't get lost going down that steep one. Now this is gonna be another single track, twisty, windy. There's some rocks, so just make sure you're paying attention to where your feet are. All right, guys, so we are coming up that last little climb after hitting that left turn. Once we hit this fire road, boom, we are back at the start. Run to the finish, and then stick around. Maybe do a little stretch, hang out, socialize. Maybe there'll be some coffee left over. Otherwise, have some water and hang out. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.